The Yankees lose the first game of a two-game doubleheader against the Mets. They've lost the first two games of this series, and they've now lost 7 of their last 8 games. Today was just a pathetic loss. They had a 4-1 lead going into the 4th inning. Cole blew it. He was clearly gassed. And he did not pitch well today. Cole is your ace. He's got to go out, especially when the Yankees are in a stretch like this, and he has to pitch well, and he didn't. And they had a 5-4 lead in the 9th, and Boone, once again, goes to Chapman. Chapman has a 22.24 ERA in his last 9 games. He has to be knocked out of the closer role. You're up 5-4 in a must-win game, and you just put in Chad Green. He got 1 out, and Chad Green has been very good this year. Why not leave in Chad Green to pitch the 7th inning, instead of trying to bring in Chapman, who has not pitched well at all lately? And sure enough, Chapman doesn't get a single out. He's pulled after 3 batters, and then Litke goes in and gives up 5 more runs. And what happened with Litke? He was just so good. And then in his last 2 games, he hasn't pitched well. So something has to change at this point. I thought the loss against the Angels was the most pathetic loss this year. And now here we are. This might be their most pathetic loss this year. What's next? A loss more pathetic than giving up another lead in the 9th? Or 7th, because it was a doubleheader? What did we do? Did we just go out and hire everyone from last year's Phillies bullpen? It almost feels like it. The Yankees finally gave Cole some run support. They were 14-0 when they gave him 4 runs or more. And just, the offense should have done more. They had more opportunities. I know, 1st and 3rd in the 4th inning. Or bottom of the 3rd inning, sorry. And Stanton grounds into a double play. 1st and 3rd in the 5th inning. And all you get is a run on a wild pitch. Which, you can't even get a hit in that spot. And then you bring in Chapman, who's been terrible lately. It has an ERA now in his last 9 games over 22. In a 1-run must-win game. You put in Chapman to try to straighten things out, and it doesn't work out. He gets 2 strikes on Alonso. He throws a pitch above his head, or at his head, gets him to swing. If you get him to swing and miss at that pitch, throw that pitch again. Go even higher. And they decide to go with a slider. It hangs, and he hits it out. More mental errors this game. Gio rarely makes errors. I mean, when he makes an error, it sticks out. He's usually very solid. Comes in, tries to make a great play, but he should have held on to the ball. He throws it over Voigt's head and into the seats. Very next pitch, Luke Voigt gets a grounder, and he should throw that ball to Garrett Cole. He doesn't. He barely beats out the runner, if even. It was a bang-bang play when he should have just tossed the ball to Cole, probably. And then, later in the game, Gleyber Torres, on a line drive, just took off for second. Now, that play was a somewhat tough read, but still a read that should have been made. At this point, something has to change. Someone has to be fired or sent down or called up before this next game. Because it's embarrassing. You lost 2 out of 3 against the Mets. Now, credit the Mets. They played a really good game today. But you've gotten swept twice by the Red Sox. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels. And they're a 500 team again, and if they don't do something now, they're telling their fans that, or it looks like they're telling their fans that they just don't care. So something has to change before this next game. Otherwise, people are going to tune out. Even more than they already have. I mean, just another meltdown. And it's got to stop. The Yankees need to just, if you have a lead in the last inning of the game, you need to hold the lead. But putting Chapman in here with all the struggles he's had lately, you could see it coming from a mile away. You could see another meltdown coming from a mile away. And at this point, Chapman can't be your closer. Maybe slide Chad Green or Jonathan Loaizaga into the closer role, because you don't have any room to play around now. Every single game, if you even hope to try to stay competitive, which, at this point, their playoff hopes are pretty much dead. I mean, you'd have to go on a serious run in order to make the playoffs now, which a team that was expected to win the AL East isn't even in a playoff spot. They're a 500 team. So you gotta change something. Chapman can't be your closer anymore. I say slide Jonathan Loaizaga or Chad Green into the closer role. But you go out, just don't get swept by the Mets. Because it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. The players should be embarrassed. The management should be embarrassed. And at this point, as a fan, I'm embarrassed. So, 10-5 loss. It's pathetic. It's pathetic.